Sagittarius, how are you? Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're having a great month so far. This is going to be a reading. It's going to be shorter than the monthly one that I do. This is just going to be for mid-August. So basically for the rest of this week and the last week of August. So I think in general, Sagittarius, I think this is a really great period this month and these next 2 weeks for anything in regards to love for you. So, maybe for the last, 5 or 6 years, things have been a little bit turbulent for you. And I don't know if it was in love or just in general, but I think that anything that you've learned through this turbulence is now going to start to show its benefit for you, because you're going to start to realize that, whatever you've been through, you've learned a lot, Sagittarius, and there are amazing things that are going to come your way. And I think that there's such great opportunity for those of you may be planning on traveling. Some of you may have traveled. Some of you may have moved somewhere. Some of you may be learning something new, or you may be meeting new people, maybe new romantic interests, or maybe just new friends that you find that are a little bit of a challenge to you. They might challenge you on your thoughts. If there's an individual, a romantic interest that's coming, I think you feel very intellectually stimulated by them, and you feel very passionate about them, and you feel like they can challenge you in a way that other people haven't. But in general, Sagittarius, anything you do, remember this: you can be successful if you put the work in mid-month to the last week of August. I think with a lot of hard work is going to come a lot of juggling priorities. So, these juggling priorities that you may be dealing with, so it may be multiple people. Some of you may be very desirable, and you may have found certain people. It is a great time for you for love, so you may have found multiple people that you are involved with. Or at the same time, it could be work aspects. Maybe you're juggling a lot of things work-wise, or maybe a combination of both. But just remember, don't spread yourself too thinly, right? You want to make time for yourself. You want to make time to be alone. You want to make time to self-reflect. And you don't want to give too much of your energy away. But, and it's also such a great time to think of the other person's needs. So if you are dealing with multiple people, I think it's a great time to be a little bit thoughtful about their feelings and what they want, and to be fully transparent, and to make sure that all of you are on the same page in regards to what you're looking for. And also, what a great time to take your skills and your talents very seriously, Sagittarius. So don't waste this energy. Whatever you are skilled at, whatever you're talented at, now is the time. Now is the time to be determined, and now is the time to try and set goals of what you want to do in the future. So you can make a plan right now with what you want to do that incorporates all your skills and all your talents, and now's the time to make a plan, to set goals that you're going to work on within the next year. And now's the time to network. And really, certain professional relationships, for some of you, certain professional relationships might need more care, and they might need more attention. So you may be brought into that, or maybe even your own relationship, Sagittarius, that you are in may need some more attention this month, or maybe a child that you have might need some of your focus, right? But at the end of the day, I think a lot of you might be traveling. I think a lot of you, there's really positivity coming your way. And you are and just be careful. Make sure that you have that spiritual growth, and that you work on yourself spiritually as well. But I do think that you will, because you've learned a lot from the past, and everything that you've learned is going to bring you to this. It's going to bring you to positivity, to the part where you feel very insightful regards to your future. And you know, things may come up. You may be asked to travel for work, or maybe any kind of challenge that you weren't really expecting. And you're going to have to, you know, I think you just need to remember, like, in these next 2 weeks, you really have those skills and talents to succeed in whatever you want to succeed. So just be wary, you know. Look through everything. Just be very detailed. Make sure you make a plan. But some of you may also have somebody coming your way, or it might be one of the people that you have in your life. If you are juggling multiple people, it may be one of the people, or it might be someone that you're romantically involved with. But they could be a person that's very blunt and that's very honest with you, and they might come across as a little bit cold. But at the end of the day, I think there could be a sincere person coming your way, Sagittarius. And, you know, just remember, like I said, to, you know, to be thoughtful. And if it is someone that you're dealing with, and if it's a conflict that you're dealing with, whether it's someone that you were dating or in a long-term relationship, or even with a coworker, I think you're going to be able to, in August and late August, to compromise with them through open communication. I think an open listening, just really active listening to them, to be able to reach a compromise to any kind of issue that you may have had in the past. And, you know, I think some of you who are really kind of thinking everything really through and kind of hitting the nail over the head, you know, just really over analyzing an issue, it's just a time to really trust your own instincts. And remember that going around and around in a circle about something is not going to be helpful. And, you know, what will be helpful is just to sit down and write out a plan and think rationally, instead of kind of allowing anxiety or thoughts to rule you. You know, at the end of the day, just there may be a decision that you're really thinking about over and over, but it's just really important to make it. So for those of you that are thinking about whether to move somewhere or not, you know, within the next 2 weeks, you're just going to really need to make that decision. For those of you that are deciding between multiple people, this is really going to be a time and you may decide on someone responsible and honest and blunt. You may decide on that person in the end, if you're dealing with multiple people, someone that's more a little bit has responsibility and that's secure, that's allowing to give you that security. You may decide on them, you may not decide on them, but I think it's important to make a decision. If you need to make a decision within the next 2 weeks, take that time. Sit through, take all the past, everything that you've learned along your way, along your all the turbulence that you've experienced within the last few years. Sit down, think about that, and use that in order to make a decision, because I think now is the time to move forward. And in order to move forward, you will need to decide between what you want to do. And just overanalyzing it and thinking about it is not going to be useful. So just constantly thinking about the same thing over and over, you know, and going into circles is not necessarily going to help this situation. And this is what this card is telling me, you know. Sometimes it's better to just to either compromise and to follow through with something. But all in all, Sagittarius, I think there's potential for travel. I think there's potential for meeting people. I think there's potential for meeting multiple people for some of you, or some of you may already be involved with multiple people. And there's a lot of things going on, a lot of energy that you might need to juggle this month. So just be careful. Don't spread yourself out too thin. Try and, yes, take on these exciting new challenges, but remember that you need to make time for yourself as well. And try and just make a plan and think things out thoroughly. And when in doubt, focus on your talents and your skills in the next 2 weeks to really kind of guide you where you want to go. And if you have a professional relationship, whether it's within your own business or the company that you work on, that you feel maybe needs a little bit more attention, you will reach a compromise. You will reach a compromise with them. And you'll stay level-headed, and you will get there. And at the end of the day, whatever you've been through, you've learned a lot, Sagittarius. Everything that you've been through, and you have a lot of spiritual growth, and you're going to use that, in order to tackle new challenges and to succeed with any new challenges that you might have. And more importantly, you're going to use that to be able to compromise and to make decisions, to make the right decision for you. So I hope that this reading resonated with you, Sagittarius. And if it did, if you can like and subscribe, that would be amazing. And if not, I would check out your rising or your moon sign, or just check out the reading for September. Is going to be a little bit longer and with a different deck. So I have a great next 2 weeks, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, Sagittarius.